Hi guys, I am Coach Tasha Delk, and this is my husband.
Hello, Coach Cleo. Nice to meet you all.
All right, so today we're going to be coming to you guys with Marriage Mondays, and we're going to be talking to wives in waiting, husbands in waiting, so single people. Who else are we talking to?
Even people that have been married for a couple of years or a few years, I feel like we can talk to them as well. I just feel like we just have a little bit more experience than most, even when it comes to just our individual journeys. And just, I feel like we're wise in a lot of our ways too. Learn from other people's mistakes. So I think
wisdom.
We have some game. I feel like we have. I feel like it's pretty much for everyone. We are newlyweds. We can speak to those people directly. I feel, but I feel like a lot of our topics are going to be based on this general opinion and experiences more so than anything. But I feel like our opinions and the things and our experiences kind of shape that.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
The first I had went on Facebook a few weeks back. I had people inbox us some questions. We only had a couple of people that participated, but that's all good.
It's all good.
But some of the questions we're gonna answer probably just one question so we can stay topic based each time we come on. Thank you. Let's get right into it. The first question that came in was, how do you know if he or she is the one? That's the question. I think that's a good question. You go first.
I'll let you start.
All right, so I'll get started. I believe, like, from our experience, the first thing was by the way that he made me feel. I think that, I believe that you just know, there's a knowing that you have in your spirit. Everything around you is just, it's like everything falls into place. Like everything is right. You don't have to try to force anything. And then also perspective. I think you two will have the same perspective, a lot of things in common, or a lot of things that you both desire to do together. Also, I believe like there's no red flags. And I think that duty calls. But I believe there's no red flags. And I think that a lot of times in relationships or in the beginning of relationships, there are red flags. There are things that just kind of pop out at us that we tend to ignore. I feel like with us, I didn't have any red flags. I didn't have any red flags. I was able to show him me in every aspect. As a mom, as a business owner, just on my up days, on my down days. He really helps me to get into the whole, it's okay to be human.
For sure.
And so it's okay to show those sides. I feel like he's kind of seen me in like almost all of those aspects of who I am. But also I just feel like I feel like I wasn't 100% really ready, I guess, to just start. I was kind of at a point where I was over guys. I'm just like, ugh. Just being able to just say, you know what, I'm not gonna be like that, and just open myself up to him.
Right.
I think that we gotta be able to just open that door to things that are different. It's long distance with so many different things that was different about this situation. But at the same time, like I said, the biggest thing I think for me is how he made me feel, how he respected me, how he communicated with me, how he kept me in the know. I didn't feel like there was anything hidden. I feel like we were pretty much very open. We're that way even in our marriage. But yeah, so I think those are some of the key aspects. I think for me is just what you will be able to know is how he makes you feel, how he respects you, what is his morals, some things that you guys have in common. And but things can be different too, but it's all how you deal with the conflict with each other as well, I think. And then also the red flag. Just that's just something, that's any little bit of advice that I could give, is if there's a red flag, pay attention to it. Don't ignore it, because when it's right, it's gonna be right.
Address it, if anything. If you feel like it's a question, and I feel like most people should be honest about just their intentions and just what they want out of the situation or what they want out of life, period. I feel like, not to go off topic, but I feel like when we are dating, we have to be clear about our intentions. I feel like a lot of us are dating and we don't really know what we want. We don't know if we want to be married. We don't know if we still want to be single. We don't, I feel like we have to be very clear, and that's knowing yourself a lot, and just being very self-aware and knowing what you really want and what you're ready for. A lot of us are looking for husbands and wives, and we haven't done the work on ourselves to even want that, or to understand what all that even embodies. Like, have you talked to married people? Do you even know what your marriage looks like? I feel like that's key as well. But for me, how I knew she was the one was, first off was the spiritual connection. It was how connected she was with God. I feel like that was the main thing that drove me to her, was her spiritual connection. In fact, she inspired me to be a better version of myself. She inspired my growth. She inspired the way I walk with God. That's the main indicator on how you know she's the one. Another one is the communication. It was effortless for us. We talked for hours on hours, and the two main things that stuck out to me about our communication that we had in line was how family oriented she was and how on top of finances she was. Those two things were big in our communication, and that stuck out to me. I feel like you need to understand when you're communicating what key things you guys have in common and build that foundation in friendship. And a big thing is communication. Another thing is goals. I feel like you need to find someone that is goal-oriented, that wants to be a better version of themselves every day, that has dreams, that has things in place. I felt that our goals were in line with each other. She made me dream bigger. She made me want to be a better businessman. She challenged me in ways that I could never challenge myself in business, and just being just a better version of myself. And I feel like another key thing with our relationship was the fact that we had children before we met. I feel like you need to find someone that has similar parenting styles, or that you agree or you appreciate the type of mother or parent that she is, because that is key in that next phase. And that a lot of what embodies us is how we parent and how we coexist in that. And that we don't challenge each other's parenting, that we try to build each other in being a better parent, just with the additional children we have, and just them being in different ages. And so it's a lot of things that come with that, but I feel like you should definitely have to find someone that you can align with their parenting, and that you appreciate and you admire the type of parent that they are. And those are the big things for me, is that spiritual connection, that communication, that they're goal oriented, that they're dreaming, that they have things in place, that they already are working towards those goals, and the type of parent that they are. I feel like those were key in just knowing that this is definitely a wife, or definitely a phenomenal woman, just period. She's a force in the world. And those were my key things.
Thank you, baby. I appreciate that.
No problem.
All right, guys. Thank you. We're just gonna go ahead and wrap up here. This is our first episode. of Marriage Mondays. I am Coach Tasha Delk, and it's my husband,
Coach Cleo.
All right,
we
thank
are
y'all.
looking forward. Sorry to cut you out.
It's okay.
We're looking forward to doing these. We want to be consistent.
For sure.
We want to come every Monday. We want to come with fresh content. We want to come with the fresh ideas, a fresh perspective. And we appreciate just you guys tuning in with us.
And also, if you guys have any questions, just feel free to inbox either one of us on Facebook, Instagram, wherever, YouTube, wherever you see this. Just go ahead and send us an inbox if y'all have any questions that you desire for us to ask, and desire for us to answer, that you guys don't feel afraid to ask. We're not going to put names or anything, but the people who ask the questions, they know who they are, and you know, they'll be able to tune in.
I'm sorry, baby.
Go ahead.
And we also have just general questions that we get just from family members, just from friends, from random people that see us, that see our love in public areas. And they just kind of walk up, man, y'all look good, man. What are y'all saying? And just kind of give us a few questions for us, because we're very open with our love, and we try to. It's not like we try to force on anybody, but we definitely are very open in how we love one another.
All right, guys, that's a wrap.
And I tend to ramble, so part of it.
All right, guys. Well, that's a wrap for our first episode of Marriage Monday.
And you do better, holler at us, let us know. I'll talk to you in the comments.
Feedback.
Give us some feedback.